Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. I want to start this off by saying I've never really been in the market for monitors. I generally like my setup run and gun style, really light and simple, but in today's video, we are honestly making an exception. I want to introduce to you the Hollyland MARS M1 monitor. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. Now, first off, I want to talk about the size. This monitor is 5.5 inch, pretty close to the ATOMOS Ninja, which is 5 inch in size, which I find to be kind of the perfect size for DSLR and mirrorless cameras. Anything bigger like 7 inch starts to be a little bit too much for me. So 5 inch, 5.5 seems like the perfect fit. Now it does have these two antennas because this is a 3-in-1. It's a monitor, a transmitter and receiver. So these antennas do help with that. So you can use accessories. I believe it's the 400 Pro. I'll write it up here that you can use, and then that can transmit onto another monitor, which is an awesome feature. So if you're on set with clients or other people want to see, they'll be able to review it from the monitor from 150 meters away, which is amazing. Now, the only downside with this that I found is you can't put a sun hood because of these antennas, which kind of sucks. But for the most part, I generally find it bright enough for most situations. This, like the ATOMOS Ninja, does have 1000 nits of brightness, and generally, even in a sunny day like this, it is honestly more than enough. Now, if you're out in the desert and you're trying to look and it's quite glary, that's when you might need a sun hood or you may need more nits. But for the most part, you could always set up like a little cardboard or some Velcro or something like that and always set it up. But for the most part, I find 1000 nits to be perfect for most scenarios. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Lut Support. This is awesome. This actually allows you to select up to 5 LUTs programmed on this. So you can use a USB. It has a little Type-C switch right over here, and it allows you to insert and install LUTs. Unfortunately, you can only install 5, but I generally find 5 more than enough. They're not going to be baked in because this is not a recorder. However, you will be able to preview your image on the screen with the LUT applied, which will make post-production and lighting a lot easier while on set, which is fantastic. Now, let's talk a moment about the build quality. Now, even though this is plastic, it honestly does feel solid. It feels light in the hands as well, and mounted with a battery, it's honestly not that heavy. I use the 970s, but I also use the 550s, which I find to be honestly perfect for this kind of setup. It has an SDI in port, and it has 2 HDMI in and out, which generally, again, for run and gun people, it's fantastic. Now, you might be wondering who is this for, and that's what I want to get to next. I honestly find this monitor great for solo run and gun style people, like myself personally, someone who's doing like a documentary, wants to do interview setups, needs to move quickly. This is honestly a great accessory to have. Honestly, like I said, I wasn't someone that was ever in the market for monitors. I generally looked at the LCD, but this is honestly a game changer. Having a 5.5 inch screen really does make all the difference in the world. And guys, it's honestly a great investment. When you're on set, especially as a freelancer and you're working on corporate or commercial sets, when your camera rig looks bigger, it just screams you probably know what you're doing. I know it sounds ridiculous, and look, let's be honest, it's all about perspective, but at the end of the day, size can sometimes matter. But it's not only about that. This monitor really does help capture the finer details, especially if you're using manual focus. Sometimes on the smaller screen, it can be really hard to see whether you've nailed focus or not. This is where this comes in handy. Now, with that being said, it does have focus peaking, which is awesome. It has focus peaking, zebras, histogram, waveform, pretty much everything you can kind of expect on the Inferno, the ATOMOS Ninja 5, the Shinobi, portkeys. Most monitors these days will have all those features, which is awesome. It also has the aspect ratios, so if you're shooting 2x16, 16x9, 4x3, it does have the markers there for you as well, kind of the safety lines, so that you can preview it and you can use it. Let's talk about the startup time for this monitor. It's not really relevant, but I thought we'd mention it anyway. Startup time on this is 16 seconds to be exact, which seems a little bit long for a monitor, but once it's set up, it's pretty much easy to go. Now, there is only one button, physical button that you can press, and that's the power button. This can also lock the screen by just pressing it once, which can be a handy feature if you don't want to touch any settings. Everything else is operated by touchscreen, so you pretty much touch to access everything else, but as I said, only one button. There is a little headphone jack here too, another 1/4 inch 20 thread here, which is awesome. You can obviously put a handle and stuff like that, which is great. And honestly, I think it's fantastic. It does have an internal fan, but the fan is pretty quiet, which is also a really handy feature. Now, when you do open this box, it only comes with the monitor, the antennas, a D-tap cable, and a little USB-C to USB adapter. That's it. It's really bare bone. And then you pretty much have to buy yourself a cable, a HDMI cable. I've got the ATOMOS 30 centimeter coil, which is great. And then I also have a little, what is it called? What was it called? It's, oh yes, it's a small rig 1/4 inch thing that kind of connects to this. I'll show you guys a photo. You can buy it on Amazon. It's fairly cheap, $25, $30 Australian. Definitely worthwhile. It allows you to tilt the swivel of the monitor, and it's honestly a must-have necessity. So definitely get yourself one of those. And if you don't have it already, get yourself a bag for the monitor, guys. For goodness sake, look after your camera, look after your monitors. These aren't cheap. Protect them at all times. Now, another really cool feature with this monitor, and one of the reasons I actually wanted this monitor in the first place, was because it actually allows you to also transmit the video straight to your mobile phone, which wasn't possible before with the ATOMOS Ninja 5 or the Shinobi. With this one, you can download the Hollyland app and you can actually preview it from your phone. So you don't necessarily need another Mars M1 monitor if you can't afford it. You can literally use your phone as a monitor. So if your clients want to watch, if they have an iPhone or an iPad, Android, doesn't matter, download the Hollyland app and you'll be able to preview the monitor, which is awesome. Now, the monitor latency is 80 milliseconds, which honestly is fast. I mean, you're always going to have that little bit of lag, that's just normal with all monitors, but 80 milliseconds is pretty fantastic. So no complaints there. Hollyland, you've honestly done a great job. Now, one of the last things I want to touch on is the battery life. Now, on this one, I'm actually using, which one is this? This is the 550, very small, very compact. I love it because it's light. Now, on the 970, which is the bigger brother of this one, I've tested this out. On 100%, you can get about 2.5 hours of full battery on the 970s. At 50% brightness, which I generally actually use this on 50% because I find it more than enough, you can get 4 hours of battery life on one 970 battery. Now, this is gonna sound really ridiculous, but I have like more than 10 970 batteries. Don't ask me why. I don't know why it's like a collect batteries or something, but I've got a ton of batteries. And you don't need that many. Honestly, 1 to 2 of these should last you all day. And if I was you, get yourself a dual or 4-bay charger with these, with the Sony MP batteries, and you guys will be golden. These are great. The 550s are really good too. You should be able to get an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours, again, on 50%. You should be plenty. This should be plenty enough for that. And these are really cheap as well. Just go on Amazon and you'll be able to find plenty for very affordable prices. Now, my final thoughts on the monitor. Honestly, guys, this has been a game changer, and I don't just mean from the Shinobi. I've had the Shinobi, I've had the ATOMOS Ninja 5, and personally, out of all of them, this has to be my favorite. It has false color, as I said, it has the waveform, everything it has, but it also comes as a transmitter and receiver, 3-in-1, and the pricing is honestly really going to give all the other monitors a run for their money. You're looking at about 800 to 900 Australian dollars. I will put the price on the screen, the accurate price. But guys, if you're in the market or if you don't have a monitor or you're looking to upgrade, the Hollyland MARS M1 is highly recommended. Honestly, guys, total game changer. It will change your game. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, if you can hit the like button, it really does help support this channel. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, be good. All right, that's a wrap.